Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, amma ba'd. We are now within the last days of Shahru Ramadan. Inshallah, the Eid is expected to be this Tuesday or Wednesday for all communities. Inshallah, all depending on what day the community specifically started. Allah knows best. People are constantly ikhtilaf in regards to that. But this is the time period of knowing Muslim unity, knowing that we have the ability to agree, to disagree, right? Alhamdulillah, I'm fortunate to come up in the time period which I came across, because it's like one thing that we did within the 90s, and even for those who came before that time period, it's like we knew how to do ideological debates. Like if you wasn't built for it, it was like people wasn't doing it. It was like they only get to stay out the way, or they gonna mention what it is that they knew. I mean, that's in regards to all communities, whether it was from the Ansar Allah community, whether it was from the 5%ers, whether it was from the nation, whether it was from the War of Deen community, whether it was from the Tablighi Jama'ah, whether it was from the Ash'ari community, whether it was from the last to come within the areas of North America, the Salafi community. But somehow, the Salafi community was considered to be the most argumentative, mashallah. But it was just how the 90s was. So it's funny to see that people who didn't come up in that time period, they're finding what's going on to be brand new or something which is different. I look at it as anything that goes on is returning back to everything goes around in a circle. Everything comes back around. Some things to left is coming right back around again. There's nothing new. Nothing new underneath the sun. Speaking of the sun, out here, intense status. Taking it easy. It's a beautiful day. I hope everybody's out there enjoying. Alhamdulillah. But getting back to the topic that we were just talking about, this is like, if you had a good Ramadan, if you had a proper Ramadan, a Ramadan in which you've invested in a lot of hours of seeking knowledge, a lot of hours of studying, a lot of hours of recitation of tilawah of Quran, a lot of hours of memorization, and you had the opportunity to benefit from that soul food, because that's what it is. We abstain from eating the physical food and we went straight to the spiritual food. Inshallah, you're coming out of this month very, 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 very heightened in your senses, heightened in your awareness, heightened in your taqwa and your conscience. And being that we're getting straight into the summertime too, leaving this month, I mean, we already know that the fitna is present, but inshallah you had the opportunity to be spiritually prepared for anything that's coming along the way, having the opportunity to have sabr, patience and perseverance upon whatever comes along the way. If so, that's the half of faith, inshallah, for you. If so, then may Allah increase you. And that's narrated from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. He said that whosoever seeks knowledge, Allah makes easy for him the path to paradise. This is a hadith which was narrated from Abu Hurairah. Whosoever seeks knowledge, Allah makes easy for him the path to paradise. So we continue to seek, and that seeking is going to continue until the time period in which we're called back to Allah. And guess what? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in regards to if you differ in anything, then return back to Allah and His Messenger for final determination. Once we end up doing that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is definitely for anything that we disagree upon in this world. It's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to break down. It's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let us know where we erred at on the day of judgment. Other than that, we stick to the foundation. We stick to the things in which we know Allah said in His Quran. And if we don't commit any of those crimes of shirk, those crimes that causes us to fall into being outside of the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mashallah, we good. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent mutashabih. He said mutashabihat ayat. He revealed certain verses in which are is something in which you will have an air of mystery around it. It's something in which you will end up not understanding completely until the day in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us back. I mean, even the basic letters of Alif, Lam, Mim, these are letters in which it's mentioned as being the allegorical aspects of the Quran. So, if we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the Quran after Quran with allegorical ayat, then we have to know and understand that there are certain things that we're not going to get. And if people decide to go into argumentation based off of these, then we know that, I mean, it's mentioned in the Quran. If people start to go to war, when people start to argue, when people start to beef, people start to trip off of the allegorical, then, I mean, these are people who are not rightly guided. We don't trip. All we do is just affirm, do tasdeeq, affirmation, what Allah has said, and that's it. That's the way of the Salaf. But if it's the case in which, you know, we have to stand firm upon that and make sure that mawqif, make sure that position is understood, then we do that. You know, we let it be known where we come from. We let it be understood what the text say. We let it be understood what was understood on the time period of the Salaf, and we don't go past that. As it was stated from Abdul Rahman ibn Amr al-Awza'i, the first Shaykh al-Islam, agreed upon by all of the people of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. One of the things he said, tread the path of the Salaf al-Salih, right? Tread the path of the original Muslims, tread the path of the rightly guided predecessors. And then go to where they've gone, talk on what they've talked about, speak on what they spoke about, be quiet on what they've been quiet about, and have patience. As simple as that. This is one of the first things that was stated by the Shaykh al-Islam, the very first Shaykh of Islam. And so if we understand this, then we simply do that. We have conversations as far as our limited understanding. We have conversations based on our limited knowledge. We have conversations simply mentioning what has been mentioned. Because anything beyond that, I mean, anything else is coming from our own selves. And just like how we say in the beginning of the khutbah, we say, Na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. We seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from any evil of our own selves and any evil of our own actions and doings. And we also say that any good that comes from us is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And any evil, anything that we say that's incorrect, then verily is coming from our own selves. So, the deen is perfect, people aren't. And so if people get caught up in the imperfections that this person said this or that person said this, and whether it be from scholars, whether it be from students, whether it be from just people in general, what's understood is that people are going to be fallible. People are going to do things which is not perfect. People are going to say things which isn't correct. The only person, as Imam Malik rahimahullah said, the only person who was infallible, he pointed to the grave of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Is the person in this grave right here?" That's it. So, inshallah, make sure that you continue to study, that you don't get caught up in any of the fitna, you don't fall into any of the the issues of arguing in ways that aren't best. Because this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. If we're going to debate, then we're going to debate in ways which are best. But to argue in ways which aren't. Like some of the sellers used to say, if a person comes to you seeking to debate, you tell them, well, I found my deen. If you still need to find yours, go ahead, find yours. But there's no need. Our deen is personal. Our deen is something in which we place within our hearts and we tie to our hearts. We aqad that to our hearts. That's where the word aqidah comes from. That which is tied to a knot to our hearts. And inshallah, with dalil, with hujjah, with proofs and evidences, with ayat, we get better and better in time. So when you see the shabab or the shabab, when you see the people who are new and people who have that spirit of, they love the deen, but for a fact that they're just beginning, have patience with them. I mean, we know that whatever is said publicly, then we end up addressing publicly. But whatever is done from Muslims especially, we still have that mercy upon the Muslims. As the worst of Muslims are still better. The worst Muslim is still better than the best kuffar. And even in regards to that, like, there's many different ways to understand this. If a person is brand new in regards to their deen, then we understand they're going to make mistakes. So, if you're older, consider them as, if this was your son, how would you address him? If this was your daughter, how would you address them? As simple as that. We try to maintain that mercy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran, where He said, verily the believers are merciful towards one another. And if anybody who's outside of that gets out of pocket, then we harsh towards them. If they raise up arms against us, you know what it is. But besides that, we be patient with the people. We be merciful upon the people. Anything in which harshness or karm, which is nobility and gentleness, is taken away from, then it leads to ugliness. We can see this in regards to people who go into extremes. We see this in regards to terrorists. We see this in regards to people who they show no mercy. Just remove themselves from the beauty of Islam, because Islam will always be beautiful. Islam will always be pure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only accepts that which is pure. So be easy. Alhamdulillah. And enjoy what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent from everything that's around you, from all of the faculties that you have. The greatest gift Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave was the aql, the intellect. So use it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the greatest miracle, which is the Quran. So use it. And look around you and see all of the ayat in which you have around you. Be blessed. So alhamdulillah, Ramadan Mubarak. It's been a very, very, very beautiful month. And no matter what took place, you have to say alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal. All praise is due to Allah upon all circumstances. Because only with every circumstance, even in regards to the things which we may consider as being wrong or incorrect or bad or whatever the case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still has His particular, He has His qadr, He is written in regards to it. And what He is written is always for the best, no matter how we see it as human beings in our limited knowledge. If this is the time period which is coming back for religious debate, then alhamdulillah, that's what it's the time for. If it's the time for seeing where people stand in regards to their positions, and if it causes for bala, for tests to arise, for people to start getting firmer and to become closer to Allah and closer to the proofs and closer to what earns the pleasure of Allah, then that's what it is. And it comes in many different ways. So alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. For everyone who are of, the different understandings, then, everyone begins to change in regards to understandings based off of how much knowledge you come across, how many different nisab, how many different lines of knowledge you come across. And then you start to realize what things are authentic and not. And if your deen is based off of authenticity, this is the statement of all the mathahib, all of the schools of knowledge. They've said, verily our deen is sahiha. Verily our deen is that which is authentic, and as simple as that. So if you want to debate in the best of ways. There's no need for name calling. There's no need for falling into anything beyond which is noble in regards to fight. We know as Muslims, we still, even in the aspects of fighting, of warfare, even if it was a case of warfare, we still remain humble and noble in regards to how we fight. We don't cheat the people in any regards. We don't deceive the people in any regards. We keep it straight up. So if that's the case in which we do in the cases of warfare, then imagine what we should do in regards to debate. Imagine what we should do in regards to speaking with other people who are simply coming with their proofs of what they have and what they've been given and what they've been raised with. Let them present what they have. If you're not able to combat it, step off and let another person who is able to get involved. But besides that, there's no need to be uncivilized. There's no need to be savage in regards to that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made beautiful. Simple as that, alhamdulillah. And also remember, part of the signs of the last day is that there will be those who will claim the same thing, and they will continue to fight each other until the walls of Constantinople falls. And we know that this is the beginning of the time period of the Dajjal. So when you see two people that both are Muslim and they're fighting over the same things, maintain the remembrance of the signs of the last day. That which is found in Sahih Bukhari, that which is found in Sahih Muslim, that which is found in Sunan Abu Dawood, in Bab al-Fitan, and Sa'at al-Fitan, and so many other books that, if you go through any of the scholars, no matter what scholars, they've all mentioned what comes along with this. So, to have knowledge, alhamdulillah, you prepare for anything, and you prepare for everything. So I'll trip. Inshallah, enjoy the rest of your day. Maintain your belief in Allah. Maintain your belief in the angels. Maintain your belief in the messengers and the books and the day of judgment and Allah's qadr, the good of it and the bad of it. Maintain the 5. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Maintain your salawat. Maintain your zakat. Complete your fast. And inshallah, keep that intention in your heart to journey to Mecca upon pilgrimage. See the place in which everything started. Not just for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but for all mankind. As many of the hadiths state, the first place that Adam alayhi salam met Hawa is right between the mountains of Safa and Marwa. Barakallahu feek. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless y'all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Ameen.